till she's got all the pieces of me. Yeah. Well, I'm so falling down.
Thank you, studio audience.
Sing, talk, play. In this episode, we're hanging out with the average-heighted and very tall Bear Mountain. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yes, my name is Ian.
I'm Greg.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Kenji.
Ian and I played in a band way back in a few years back in university, and which ended. And I know that he headed to Vancouver, and we kind of were doing some separate things. But I went back to Vancouver to pursue recording sound engineering, and Ian showed me a few tracks that he was making on his computer, and then he also showed me some acoustic songs he recorded, which I never knew you could sing at that point, and then I was just completely blown away. And it was at that point I was like, man, like, we should do something here. We should form something. So Ian.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of doing a solo thing with like some songs I made on my computer. And I played one show once and it was like really bad. Like I had like a kick drum and my computer and my bass and like a tambourine, like a bunch, like way too much going on, and like a crazy Ableton session that I could like barely control. And I remember by like the second to last song, there was a band called Wizards playing after us, and the audience was going, "Wizards, Wizards," and I was like, "Oh, this sucks." And then we had another show booked.
You actually called me. I was in Toronto at the time. He called me the next day and was like basically in a pit of despair.
Yeah.
It was like you were thinking about quitting music.
Because I'd spent like, honestly, I'd spent that whole winter in my basement, like in my parents' basement, like just making music. Like that's all I did. And then so I like finally played my first show and it just sucked. So I had another show 2 weeks later, and I called Kyle. I'm like, I need a band. Like I need. So Kyle came in, he played guitar, and then my other buddy Doug, who played the drums, he came in and played the drums, and then we rehearsed in Kyle's studio every day for like 2 weeks, like every day all day, and just like, and then we played that show like exactly 2 weeks later. And like it was crazy, like it went off, like the room was just, it was so good. And then so they were like, okay, we got something here.
They say for comedians especially that you really need to bomb a couple of times.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
to hone those skills.
Totally.
So that was probably, you know, the best thing that could happen.
A good thing, I think.
So you kind of started on the computer to begin with, and then formed this band together.
Yeah.
I want to know, does everything here do something, or is this just for show? You can tell me.
Most is
I'll
for
keep
show.
it to myself.
So yeah, but I mean, this is like, we're always growing our things, and we've kind of, you know, we all kind of like to nerd out a bit on gear and kind of what we can do and what's possible. So we've got lots of cool ideas for how we're gonna kind of keep growing. I mean, if we keep doing this for another like 10 years, like it's just gonna be ridiculous. But.
You'll be robots, basically.
Yeah,
You'll be cyborgs
basically,
making
yeah.
music. So this really adds an amazing element, especially with the visual. So how did that come to be?
Well, I got to meet Ian like a year ago, and then it was pretty interesting because I was actually going to do something else for another band he was playing for. They usually play together, and one night I just went to one of their shows, and I saw them. I saw Kyle and I saw Ian together playing, and I was just like I felt in love with their music, and I was like, I want to do something with those guys. And then we just clicked from there on. It's just been like amazing. Like it was the same sort of like kind of like time. They were about to release the XO album, and there was just like 2 weeks, 10 days, and I had to build the whole visual show.
Yeah, Kenji made a video and built these triangles and put together an entire projection show, and he did it in like 2 weeks, and like we saw how hard he was working.
Like all to our, completely mapped to our set. Like it was insane. He was like we saw, how hard he was working, and we were just, this is our guy. Kenji's the man.
I love the fact that that you're a part of the band. I've heard of visuals and bands considering the person who does the visual part of the band, but you're like in the mix. You're actually performing as well, which is really interesting to see.
I never give anything without expecting something in return. I always get paid.
You think I'll marry you just to get the bonnet? I won't.
Don't flatter yourself. I'm not a married man.
Well, I won't kiss you for it.
you've been on tour up until now. This is the last day of your tour, and we are super lucky to get you on that last day because you guys have probably honed your skills for what? How long have you been on the
I
road?
think almost 5 weeks now. Yeah, 5 weeks on Friday, so today's Wednesday, so yeah.
How's that been? You've toured before this, but this seems to be a bigger style of tour
Yeah,
for you guys.
this was our biggest one. We were opening for Block Party for most of this tour on through the U.S. and Canada. So it was really cool. I mean, it was some of the biggest venues we've played, some of the biggest festivals we've played, some of the biggest audiences we've played. And then also long drives between the shows. They're in a tour bus, we're in a van, so it's a bit different. So we learned a lot, and it was kind of like boot camp for touring, sort of, in a way. So, a lot like setting up, tearing down real fast, loading, unloading, packing, performing every night, doing a good show, changing our set, everything. I think we all learned a lot.
You guys are playing Sled Island here in Calgary.
Yeah, I've wanted to play Sled Island for ever since we've been a band. We've been applying and trying to get in.
We've been
So
applying for right from the beginning.
yeah, so we're happy to play for sure. And we got a good slot, so we're stoked. I think that's awesome thing about Calgary, I've been here for Stampede before, and it's like everyone, if there's an event, everyone drops everything and just commits fully, and Calgarians have a real good way of just committing to the party, I think. Yeah, we're stoked to play, and they always come out and show tons of support, so we're excited.
I think this festival's unique in Western Canada too, in fact that it's kind of centralized in a city, and it's over a number of days, and it's all like a wristband. There's not many like that in Vancouver, Edmonton, whatever. So yeah, it's cool. It's unique.
Traveling around on this particular tour, is there anything you've seen that you'd want to take back with you or implement in your sound?
Oh, electronic cigarettes.
Physically take. What have you stolen from hotel rooms you've been in? Basically, is the question I'm asking.
I know for us, or for me, watching Block Party play every night was a huge revelation for us, because those guys are seasoned. They've been doing it for a decade, and watching them play and watching them kill it every night, no matter what the venue. And even when Kelly walks on stage, he's just so calm and collected, and then he just slays the room, So we learned a lot of stuff from them.
Yeah, just by touring, nature of it, you come home, you got a list this long of all this stuff you got to practice and all this stuff you got to work on. So it's inspiring, I think, touring.
Let's talk about Vancouver a little bit. How's the scene? How long have you guys been doing your thing in Vancouver as this formation, as Bear Mountain?
This scene's good in Van. We've been doing this for me and Kyle for 2 years now, the four of us for less than a year.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of support in Vancouver right now, and just with a lot of bands, a lot of people really helping each other out, going out to shows, a lot of collaborating going on, and yeah, I think it's been a very unique place to kind of write music and come out of.
I think in the past, everyone kind of knows the reputation Vancouver has for shutting down venues and making it hard to play, and almost the music industry was this thing that you were trying to reach that you weren't a part of. And that's how kind of I've always felt in Vancouver, to be perfectly honest.
It was totally exclusive for a long time.
So what we did is we created our own community, and we joined up with bands who kind of were into what we were doing, we were into what they were doing. There's the Bell Game and Humans and these cool young bands who are we're just going to do our thing, and we're going to do it on our own terms. And that's what we did. So now Vancouver's almost maturing in a way, the music scene. I feel now we're kind of there.
On that note, here's my last question. Where do you guys see yourself in 50 years?
50.
So,
Hopefully have made some weird music by that point, really trippy. That's what I want to do.
Is that the goal?
Yeah, just get so far that you just it's unlistenable. I think that's
See, bands try to go the other way. They start unlistenable in the hope that one day they are listenable.
No,
but I
but
like this approach.
Can you imagine the records Jimi Hendrix would be making right now? Not but they'd be so weird.
I think it would just be a tone. It would just be one tone.
We were actually talking today, what if we gave Mozart back from the dead and gave him Ableton Live? What would happen? This is a totally tangent, but
so bad, it's been time that we need. And build a house on the hill that falls to the sea. I spent my whole lifetime trying to be, and I'll fake it with you if you'll take it from me. It's like you never come home. Well, baby, I don't think I can be. 'Cause if the future is too long, the better side of me, I'm faded so it don't seem right. I'm too faded and so I can't see my life. And you're right, but I'm the one leaving. It's too bad 'cause I've never been mistaken. Faded and so I can't see my life. We can believe that we were too strong to need. The type of treatment that pulls your heart from your sleeve. I drew a fault in the lines that we didn't see. And just in time as I crawl back to find you asleep. It's like you never come home. Well, baby, I don't think I can be. 'Cause if the future is too long, the better side of me, well, I'll be thinking about the girl across from me. Yeah, I'll be thinking about the life that we didn't lead. She might care. I'm faded and so it don't seem right. Oh, girl, won't you come back a little while? I'm too faded and so I can't see my life. I've lost her, but this time I'm really trying. You're right, but I'm the one leaving. It's too bad I've never been this deep. I'm faded and so I can't see my life. You're my life.